Hello, beautiful people. I know it's been a little bit. Today I came back from my appointment with my surgeon to do a follow up to see how I'm doing and how my incision is healing. My incision is healing really well. It's still got a little bit to go because bending over is kind of so hard. But walking, I'm up and walking, and I'm doing really well with that. I can't lift anything yet, but it's okay. It's just temporary. I'm working on my emotional, mental side of it, wrapping my head around the diagnosis and what my future looks like. So I'm taking it one day at a time. And she couldn't really give me a lot of information as far as when or if the pheochromocytoma can come back, because that's one of the things that I'm just learned, that even though it's removed, that it can still come back in the same area it was removed. And it can travel via the lymph nodes, which is great. So I'm doing some research with functional medicine and how functional medicine can help me going further. I noticed a lot of the doctors actually don't believe in diet helping the pheochromocytoma. There's no evidence that it is helpful. I am still waiting on the genetic testing to see if I have any of the markers for pheochromocytoma in my family. So my dad was never tested, so I don't really know if he actually had it. He did have a tumor on top of his kidney, but it was never tested. They never tested for it, for a pheo. So what's interesting is once the pheo is removed, it can show up anywhere in the body. So if there's cells that are still there, it can form wherever it wants to. And typically, not always, it's metastasized when it does come back. So, and again, doing research on a lot of the history of the pheo, they don't really have a lot. This is why it's a rare tumor, because they don't really have a lot of information on it. So it could come back in 6 months, 5 years, 20 years. And she told me about our client that she had today that had about the same size pheo, and it was removed. And then 20 years later, he was back with her again to have surgery again because it had spread to 2 different places and he had to have it removed. So they can't really tell me where, when, why, how, all these things. They're still doing research on it and they don't know. So it's a waiting game. But I'm really curious to see if it's genetic, because then I'm going to have the kids tested to see if they carry the markers. What's interesting too is the stories I've been reading about pheochromocytoma is even if it's not genetic, it still can come back and they still have the possibilities. So the surgeon couldn't really tell me either what would be the best course of action to not necessarily prevent this from happening with the kids, but also what I could do to be proactive. So what I'm going to be doing is doing blood work yearly with them to make sure that their non-epinephrine and epinephrine levels are within normal limits, and then, or if they have any symptoms. And that's kind of what she told me today, where that's really what you have to look for if they have any symptoms. So awesome. And yeah, so I'm still processing it, because you go from being told that this tumor was inoperable to a week later having it removed, and it's full margins removed, which is great because that means they got everything, the whole thing. So I'm working on my mental and emotional side of that and working through that, because that's been really hard. Shock to the system. So doing a lot more deep breathing, because went back in 2020 when I had COVID and I was in the ICU. I had right lower lung collapse, and that's actually right next to the adrenal gland where the tumor was growing. And it actually was compressing against my lung because it got so big. So now I'm doing some deep breathing techniques to open up my lung and expand my lung to get it to start actually working. So there's a lot of things that my body's going through and body changes that I've had to go through. And it's just taking time. It's taking time for myself and working on myself, and self-care has not been my forte. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'll make more videos further, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything, for the support and love and the motivation. Please keep sending my way. I receive all of it, and I'm very grateful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody that has helped out and supported and motivated and helped my family, and thank you so very much. Have a great day.